Are you a business owner that feels stretched thin? I want to give you some tips and ideas and advice. This comes from a recent coaching meeting that I had with one of my clients, and I wanted to just pull out some of the principles I noted in the conversation that we had. If you feel stretched thin, you're doing too many things, you're dropping the ball, I want you to think about two words: leverage and scale. Leverage and scale. So what can you do to scale your efforts? What's a system you could build? What's a person you can tap into, an employee, a contractor, a freelancer? What's a resource you can tap into that can help you do more than you have time to do? And when you set those types of things up, then you get leverage. So for example, I've written a few books. One of the books I've written is called The Jump: From Chaos to Clarity for Your Striving Small Business. I've written all this information inside of this book. And now someone can get all this information from me without having to talk with me, interview me, anything. They can go read the book. So I have a leverage point because I can take this insight that I've composed and I can share it with other people, and I can do that at scale. So that gives me leverage. So I want you to think about that. When you think about your stretched thin, what are all the things you're doing and what could you put in place to help you better process, receive, filter that information, and then to be able to delegate it or prioritize it or filter it. Another important principle to consider is the power of embracing responsibility, accepting responsibility. So let's say that you failed at something, you've dropped the ball for one of your clients or one of your employees. Own it. Take responsibility. Don't blame anyone else. Just own it. You dropped the ball. You don't need to excuse it or justify it. And what that'll do is a couple things for your client, for your employee, for whoever it is that you've dropped the ball for. It shows them that you're not going to blame it away, that you are going to take responsibility. And that means you're a trustworthy person that's worth working with, even if you have failed. And I think that's important for a couple of reasons. One, it builds trust with those people. It recognizes that you are fallible, that you are not a super human creature that never fails. And if you're willing to rectify that situation and make it better, then you can actually develop a stronger connection, a stronger relationship that you can build on for future work, future engagements. So keep that in mind as you think about failure. It's not about whether you fail or not fail. We all will fail. I failed many, many times. It's about what is it that you do when you face failure. Are you the type of person who accepts responsibility, or are you the kind of person who tries to avoid or escape responsibility for your mistakes? Take responsibility for those mistakes and see where it leads you. And it'll also be a way for you to grow and a reminder. Some of my mistakes are regrets, and those regrets are reminders to me to do the right thing, to not drop the ball the next time. And so that's a motivational tactic that you can use to make sure that you don't fail again in the same way. One of the things that comes with being a small business owner is if we do a good job and we do good work and we provide a lot of value, we're going to have more clients. We're going to have more projects because we do good work and people want to work with us, and then more people find out about that. So one of the things to think about as you think about the challenge of being stretched too thin is to think about, do you want to increase your rate, how much you're charging? Or do you want more clients and you want to increase your systems and your, like I said, you want to be able to scale it up. Instead of charging more, you just want to work with more clients. You want to build a business, a scalable business. Now, for me as a freelancer, I had a marketing agency. I'm not interested in that. So for the most part, what I've done in my business is I have focused on increasing my rates. And so every year I've increased my rates a little bit. By increasing my rates, I'm able to work a little bit less each year and then earn the same amount. And over multiple years, that means I've been able to move towards a freelancing business where I work part-time and I'm able to earn that annual salary that I set out at the beginning. So as you think about where you are and being stretched too thin, one of the ways to solve that is just to start charging more. Start charging more with existing clients, so it makes it more worthwhile that you're stretched thin. And then it's possible that some of those clients may have to pull back, or they may do less hours, or maybe they stop working with you altogether. The other possibility is that when you get new clients, it helps filter them out so you don't get a bunch of new clients that you can't sustain because you're too busy. If increasing your rate is not a path you want to go, then the other option is to essentially figure out how to scale and leverage systems, technology, people to be able to deliver on the things that you're selling and do it in more of a scalable way versus keeping the business small or keeping it as a business of one. One of the challenges that'll happen if you continue your business and you don't have some of these principles in place and you don't embody them in the way that you communicate, the way you sell, the way you engage with your clients, is that you'll find yourself over time working more and more, and then you'll look at the amount of money you're earning and it'll become less and less. And so this is the exact opposite of what my freelancing business has been, which is I've essentially been able to work less and less time and then earn the same amount of income. And so the opposite is a trap that we can easily fall into. Several years go by and we've continued to work with this client and we haven't increased our rates. It's the same rates that we started with. And I know for me, one of the challenges that I've struggled with in the past is just having confidence in myself, confidence and assurance that what I'm doing is I'm providing value and the company is compensating me for that value. And when we want to increase our rates, there's a tension. I feel that tension. Like, should I do it? Can they afford it? All these kind of things that sort of go on in my head. And we can justify it away. And then months, years go by and we've never addressed it. And it's this undergirding, this undercurrent that's affecting us. And then if we have this motivation to generate this approval or attention or achievement for our clients, so we're trying to do everything we can to make them successful. And then we have this dynamic that we're not necessarily getting compensated for the value we're providing, and create these two currents that lead to, again, working more and earning less over time when it should be the opposite. Thanks for listening to my quick business tips. Are you feeling stretched thin? What are your thoughts? Is any of this helpful? What questions do you have? Share them in the comments below. Thanks. I'm Jason Scott Montoya, and I work with small business owners to help them amplify their influence and income through their online digital footprint. Talk to you later.